Matter of fact, before they stopped it, I said every time I stop somebody, I call it out, didn't I?
Every time he come in the corner and talk to me, I said, yo, what you doing?
Right, I'm like a father figure to a lot of my guys because one thing I did accept to care about the fighters at the end. The fighters come to that corner, you got to have some type of answer for them. You have to have some type of answer for them. So make sure you got the right people that you trust to give you the answers.
Matter of fact, before they stop it, I said every time I stopped somebody, I come in the corner and talk to him. I said, why what you doing look this way? Gervonta Davis and his ex-coach Calvin Ford have taken each other to court over their contractual dispute. They have had an intense back and forth for a while. In fact, this was part of the reason his fight against Lamont Roach was postponed in a bid to begin legal proceedings. The legal teams of both Gervonta Davis and Calvin Ford met to discuss the plans and try to settle the matter out of court. You're right, I am like a father figure to a lot of my guys because one thing I did accept to care about the fighters at the end of the day, sadly, that ended in chaos as their dispute got worse instead of better while they were there. Gervonta Davis and Calvin Ford got into an intense argument again. This time it was worse than the previous ones they had once. Gervonta Davis got into the room. Calvin Ford called him an ungrateful idiot and moved towards him to ask for his money. This got Tank infuriated, and they began their argument. It continued for a while, until the legal teams of the pair were able to get them to sign the documents before leaving. You had to protect the fighters, and the fighters come to that corner. You got to have some type of answer for. You have to have some type of answer for. Make sure you got the right people that you trust to give you the answers. In certain situations, once they did, they both got out of the scene. Definitely they'll meet in court. Really, it's such a sad way to end the Gervonta Davis and Calvin Ford story. Elsewhere, World Boxing Association lightweight champ Gervonta Davis is gearing up to clash with WBA's super featherweight kingpin Lamont Roach early next year. I'm saying he trusts the people that he put his son around. Do that make sense, MH? He trusts the people and don't have males of actually trying to move them or separate them from each other. Do that make? While plenty of fans are already betting against Roach, boxing legend Bernard Hopkins warns that Davis better not take his 29-year-old challenger lightly because in the ring surprises Pack-a-Punch. The clash was initially scheduled for December 14th at Houston's Toyota Center, but a few bumps in the road have pushed it back. Although no official date or venue has been set yet, word on the street hints that the bout might happen sometime in January. Interestingly, there were rumors about Davis and Roach co-featuring on a card with David Ben and David Morrell. Take one the role as I'm a catch-all figure that cares about the beauty, that cares about the fat, the athlete well-being. Get what I'm saying? Until he don't want to care about his own well-being. However, boxing journalist Dan Raphael poured cold water on those rumors, saying it's unlikely. Meanwhile, Bernard Hopkins weighed in on the upcoming Davis versus Roach clash during an interview with Michelle Joy Phelps of Fight Hub TV. Hopkins, who's with Golden Boy Promotions and was involved in last year's Davis versus Ryan Garcia showdown, quickly shared his 2 cents on the bout. Tank Davis, to me, he's going to give anybody problems. Hopkins said the burden is on Roach or anybody else. In this case, it is Roach. The burden is on him. This world of boxing, and both guys got to come in the way they need to come in. And I underestimate Roach. Roach is a real good. Roach will be climbing up a weight class to square off against Davis in a bid to secure a title in the lightweight division. The World Boxing Association even made a special exemption to allow Roach to fight Davis for the title. Roach was initially summoned by the sanctioning body to face off against interim titleist Albert B. Gaziv earlier this summer. Good fighter, boxer, and counter-puncher, and he has some confidence from the amateur. Just like regardless Hopkins warned Davis, anything can happen in this world of boxing, noting both guys need to come in the way they need to come in. Not just that, Hopkins feels Davis should not overlook Roach either. Tank cannot underestimate Roach. Roach is a real good fighter, boxer, and puncher, and he had some confidence from the amateur, Hopkins told Michelle Joy Phelps. In the meantime, Lamont Roach has shared how his bout against Davis came to be. Ryan Garcia with Day, that muscle memory of memory don't go away. I like that muscle memory of memory doesn't go away. When news of the fight first broke, fans were left scratching their heads wondering how this matchup even made sense. Roach, however, was quick to clap back. In an interview with Bag Fuel, he called casual fans civilians and shrugged off their confusion, saying they simply don't know the SP well enough for it to make sense to them. Roach claimed that he was first approached by PBC right after Davis's fight with Rolando Romero. "I've been in the Tank sweepstakes 2 years ago," Roach explained. "Another fight that obviously has kind of ruffled a little bit of feathers has been the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. What do you make of it?" I think it's a great entertainment way of showing I got a call from them 2 years ago after the promotion searched for a fighter in Washington, D.C. Although Roach agreed back then, the fight fell through as he wasn't yet a champion, and the PBC ultimately went with Hector Luis Garcia. That being said, Devon Davis seems to have backing from Bernard Hopkins, but B-Hop has cautioned Davis about Roach's abilities. Aside from Lamont Roach, Kezin Davis is also very ready to match up against Tank Davis. Lamont Roach, why coming up fighting Gervonta Davis? I know you familiar with both, right? How you see this fight playing out? And my shouts out to Lamar Rose and Gervonta, they both in the DMV. I don't got no problems within one of them, just a lot of __ talking boxing __. What am I going to do with him? I'm going to beat his ass. I'm not going to play with him. Every single time I fight, people are like, "Oh, Keen is fighting this person, he's a step up," and then I go in there and beat their ass. Not being cocky, I just know what I'm gifted with. I'm gifted with a blessing, and a lot of fighters are not blessed. Should he get past Lemos, Davis says he has his sights on anyone with a belt at 135 pounds, be it IBF title holder Vasily Lomachenko or World Boxing Organization title holder Dennis Barron. But the highest profile possible matchup Kezin Davis could line up would be against Gervonta Tank Davis, holder of the WBA belt and one of the sport's biggest box office attractions. I just see Gervonta dominating. Honestly, I just feel like he's just a better fighter all the way around. I know Lamont Roach is a better fighter from back then, but I just can't forget it. Sean Davis hasn't been shy about calling out the unbeaten Baltimore native, though he's not optimistic in Tank Davis seeking that fight out. Definitely interested in fighting Tank for sure. I didn't call him out for no reason. If Tank wants to fight me, he'll send me a contract the same way he sent Frank Martin a contract, the same way he sent Lamont Roach a contract. He can do anything he wants to do, said Kezin Davis. Fact that he did lose to Jamal Harry, and that's just, this just facts, what I'm saying. And I just can't forget that you know what I'm saying, so I just feel like Gervonta is just the all-around better fighter. Have you ever worked with Gervonta? Yeah, I spared him twice. How that worked though? Both great work. One time I was 16, I would beat the __ out of Tank. He's too short. He's not going to be able to touch me. You can't just give up on me. There's a lot of habits that he created that he can't do against me. The last time Devon Davis messed up and brawled someone outside a court, the court was a basketball court, and the victim was his ex-girlfriend, who has a child for music. Before dating Vanessa Poso, Devon Davis dated several women. The mother of his first child, Giovanni Davis, and the first woman he ever dated, Andrea Smothers. After the boxer publicly assaulted Smothers during a basketball game, the couple briefly dated. Smothers demanded child support during their split, since she was unemployed, and the court permitted Davis to see his daughter. Davis previously pled guilty to a simple battery domestic violence charge following a 2020 incident involving the mother of his daughter at a charity basketball game, in which the fighter was caught on videotape forcefully grabbing her by the neck and removing her from music. Chair Davis was also arrested in 2018 for disorderly conduct following a fight outside of a Washington, D.C. bar, and saw 27 charges for assault dropped after he was accused of punching a friend in Baltimore. The boxer remained in custody overnight in Florida, where he was in training. Davis was set to appear before a judge the next morning, where charges and bond recommendations would be formally introduced. His fight was in danger of being called off when Davis was arrested and charged with domestic violence in late December before the woman who called police put out a statement on social media days later saying Davis did not harm me or our daughter. You got anything on you? Say what happened. I'm at my house. I'm asking you what's your name? Gervonta. What Gervonta? The woman said Davis did not harm me or our daughter, and that she made an unnecessary call to law enforcement in an intense moment while I was frantic. Davis said he was not worried about the fight not happening, saying he just wanted to clear his name. Davis, 28, pled not guilty. He allegedly hit the mother of his 1-year-old daughter with a closed-hand type slap, according to police, who said she suffered a small abrasion on the inside of her upper lip. In January 20th court filing, the prosecutor charged that Davis committed battery and did so in the presence of a child under 16 years of age. The woman asked the court to dismiss charges in an affidavit filed January 24th. I do not wish to testify in this case, she wrote in the letter, where she identified Davis as her boyfriend. Does D.